Welcome back to this channel, and in this video tutorial I would be discussing next set of interview questions related to AS400. So again, these are 20 numbers and this is the part 4 video. You can go and watch previous 3 videos from my channel playlist. So let's move on to the questions one by one. So the first question is how we can check number of records in a file using CL commands. So let me tell you, there are different ways to achieve this. So first thing I would be telling you, DSPFD. Suppose I have file pf20, I am doing DSPFD over this, and in the bottom I can see the total number of records as 1, but for sure you would be needing this data in some CL programs. So there I can use retrieve member description command, and I can retrieve this CL variable parameter number of current number of record. So we can retrieve this value in our CL program so that we would be getting the number of records in that file member. So if it's a single member file, it would have only one member and that member would be star first. But in case of if it is a multi-member file, even though we can retrieve the number of records in each member of that file. So the second command is this one, and let me tell you the third way. You know the run query, just take F4 there. I would take this file again, pf20. Now here I have a parameter out form, just take F4 here. I have option summary, so I would be providing summary here and pressing enter. This would bring me the count, that is 1. So you can see the count 1. So you can declare this file in your CL program and then you can run this command, run query file this outform star summary. Then you would be able to read that field final, which is count, and the totals is 1. So you will be getting the count. So these are the ways through which you can get the record count using the CL commands. So DSPFD first one, second one is RTV MBRD, and the field would be NBR RCD. Let me check. This one. And the third is run query. This one. Now let's move on to the second question. What is the difference between SFL clear and SFL inged? So SFL clear is the subfile keyword which clears the subfile, means make it empty, and SFL inged is on top of that. It first clears the subfile and then initializes the variables, character variables with blank and numeric variables with 0. So SFL clear, SFL inged, clears a file and initialize subfile fields. This only clears the subfile. Difference between fully procedural file and primary file. So let me tell you the answer. So in case of fully procedural file, we can read that file according to our need. So we can read any record of that file based upon using the read operation setll and setdt and all over that file. But primary file is something on which we cannot set any, we cannot perform any operation. We can only read that file in a single way, means from beginning to end. So this is the main difference between this primary file, read all record one by one, or in a same manner, or you can say read all record in a first till end. Let me short it. Fully procedural file can read any record. What is journal? The fourth question is, what is journal? So journal is an object in AS400. So I would be defining journal as something which records the changes occurring in a database file. So basically we are performing the journaling on a physical file, database file, and then if any record added, deleted, inserted or updated in that database file will get stored in, the changes get stored in journal, so that in case if in future we want to roll back something, if any issue occurs, we can do, or we can track it back which user or which job has changed that record. Object, it's an object, keeps track of changes in database file. What is the final status of the job? So the final status of job is out queue, because at last once the job ends, it has the status out queue because it went to the spool subsystem. There, if any spool file, printer file is for generation, a spool file gets generated and the status becomes out queue there. Difference between chain and reading. So through chain operation I can directly look out the required row or required data. For example, I want to search for a customer number in a file, so I would be chaining with that customer number in that file, so I would be getting that information directly. But I want to look into all the records of a customer in a file, then I would be using chain with read e or set ll with read e. It depends upon us. Look for exact record in a file, read equal records. Just ignore the noises coming from the background because I don't have any control over that. Just move on to the 7th question. Advantage of using externally described files over internally described files. So this is, I think, a very important question. We must know why do we use externally described files or the internally described files. So externally described files are defined before the program gets created, but internally described files gets created at the time of program compilation, and we have to code that internally described file, their record format into that program only, record specification into that program only, and but in this case we have to code that DDS before that program. So the operating system knows that structure before that program compiles, or in this case the operating system does not know the structure. So basically it requires less coding for us. So for example, if that file is basically used by various programs, then we need to create an externally described file, because if we are going with an internally described file option, we would be ending up coding more for that, or even the chances of errors are more, and the structure would or might be vary. In some cases that would cause level check errors or something like that. So this is the whole picture of external Sky files or internally Sky files. So I'm not writing that explanation here. I think I have explained that here. And the next question is, what is the output of the following? var1 s5p0. So this is 5 packed decimal of 0 decimal places, and this is 5p1. Now var1 equals to star low L and var2 equals to high L. Let me know what would be the answer, and let me tell you. The answer would be, for var1 it would be minus 99999, and var2 is 9999.9. For each digit a 9 gets used for this, because the maximum negative value or maximum value would be 999999 for this, but in this case star low value is used, so the maximum lowest value is minus 999999, and in case of var2 it's 5p1, so the maximum positive value is 9999.9. so this is the output. Ninth question is, which built-in function would you use to achieve the below result? If var1 is less than 0, we are multiplying that with minus 1. So basically we are making it positive. So var1 becomes positive here. So how we can achieve that? We have a function absolute percentile abs. So that function will basically make a negative value to a positive value, that will return the positive result to us. So we can use this function. What is the significance of udate? We saw that we sometimes use udate in the program, RPG program. So why we are using this? Is it retrieving as the system date? No, this actually retrieves as the job date format. So we are basically getting at which time job gets fired or becomes active. So if you are going to use the system date, you will be ending up with some, or might be some, data decimal error. What is DDM? You would have seen multiple times the DDM objects gets created, or some files, some PF. So I would be telling you what it is. DDM is basically distributed data management function of the OS 400 operating system of AS400. So basically it allows us to, or our application programs, to access a database file which is present on a remote system. So if a database file is present on remote system, we can use, or we can make use of that. We can access that using this feature DDM. How to retrieve the attributes of a job? So the answer is very simple. RTV job A. Retrieve job A command. This command retrieves the job attributes to us in a CL program. what are the system objects required for journaling? So let me tell you, journaling is basically to record the changes which are happening in a database file. So we basically needing three objects. First is the journal object, second is the journal receiver, which gets associated with the journal object, and it basically holds the changes. And the third and the most important is that PF, on which the journaling is to be happened. So these three objects are required. Difference between journaling and commitment control. So journaling is basically to make PF journaled, or you can say we would be what I would say, that we are basically making a PF journal means we are recording the changes which are happening to the database file on even on any time, either through insert or update or delete, any operation. And commitment control is something, for example, if you are applying the journaling on a PF on a database file, and then you have to use the commitment control at that time. So what actually commitment control is, so you have for example performed the certain transactions over a period of time. For example, uh, you have performed 4 transactions at a time for a single operation, but for a single operation you perform 4 transactions to achieve that, right? And then that transactions are actually temporary, so to make them permanent in the system, you need to apply the commitment control. So that will basically commit those things, so that once those transactions gets commit, they are permanent to the system, and they would be made available to the other ones which are using that file. So for example, I'm accessing a commit file which is having active commitment control on that. Now someone has performed something from the other end. They have performed 4 transactions, they have debited some amount from the account, but they are still not committed. So I won't be able to see those changes at my end because these are not permanent, and I'm accessing that commitment control file. Now once that commitment control, when that commit happened, I would be able to see those changes at my end. So then in case in future if you want to roll back those things, I would be capable of roll backing those things using the journal objects. So basically these are two different things, and they are different from each other, and they would be used together. So once if we are applying the journaling, we are applying the commitment control, or we must use the journaling feature. How to check active jobs in the system? So again, this is very simple. Work active job command. We would be using this command, work active job, and then we can see the active jobs on the system. These are the active list of jobs in the system currently. How to create a user defined command? So we have a command create cmd to define a user defined command. Create cmd, just take F4. We can create a command based on our need. So this is the command. How to lock a data area after updating it? So we know that we can update a data area using out operation. So once we update a data area, the lock on it gets removed automatically. We don't need to unlock a data area once we are performing out operation on the data area. So what we can do, we can specify lock on this opcode out star lock, so that we would be applying the lock after updating that data area. How to retrieve data area in CL or in RPG? In CL we know retrieve DTAARA command, and in RPG we have in opcode. How to change data area in CL or RPG? So in CL we have chg DTAARA command. In RPG we have out command to update or change the data area. What is the type and length of star LDA? Now the first thing is, what is star LDA? Star LDA is the local data area of your job, and its length is 1024 and its type is star char, means character. Let me show you. DSP DTAARA star LDA. So you can see data area star LDA, type star character, length is 1024, and this is for the job, this one. Now I can see the values here. If they are set by the programs into this local data area, we can set the value. We can update this data area using our RPG programs or the CL programs. So I think that's all 20 questions which are covered in this video tutorial and part 4 video. Thank you and have a nice time.